knew with the way the conversation was going, I knew it was gonna hit right there. Hi, everybody. um, so yeah, we are back for yet another episode of whatever the fuck is going on over here. um, the conversation before game.
That's not to ask.
Hey, no, listen. I'm not about king shaming. You, whatever floats your goat, right? But you know, that was not a Twitch safe conversation we were having there. So, anyway, welcome back to the Reign of Masters. I have switched up a little bit of the opening so that our we can flow a little bit better. I feel like we start out with the video and then come to this instead of like and then back and then it seemed to flow better.
So we're really coming to this. Is that what you're
We're
saying?
we're coming hard
Hard.
to this. On that,
we're your friends, Tog. I saw that face.
These are my friends. These are my. There's probably at least Tog is quite happy that he's not the storyteller wrangling these cats this episode. But we are back for another main episode in the final season of the Reign of Masters. We were briefly here last Thursday with a small little special episode that was fun, and I had a good time doing it, and it didn't get as bad as I thought it was going to get, and no one killed each other, so that was always good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
There's still time.
There's still time, and especially after the downtimes that followed that, there could potentially be some murder this episode. So, with that, I think it's probably best because we may have to cut short a little bit tonight. I have a busy work week, and I have to get up early and interview people and be a professional human being at a job. So let's kind of dive. Yeah, it sucks. No, I hate interviewing people, but it is fun to sit on the other side of the interview table and ask the questions, and then people get really nervous, and you're like, it's really not that important.
Now, do you ask real questions like, "What's your favorite Star Trek?"
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to ask the best questions. I have to ask stupid questions like, "What education has prepared you for this position?" and that sort of thing.
Why do you want to work for us?
Yeah,
for
less.
So you'll pay me.
Yeah,
so you'll pay
money.
Me.
Just basically become Agent Stone.
That's who I channel while I'm doing it very much.
Is that why you get so comfortably into that?
That's so, and I think I've talked to Tog about this a little bit privately, but I kind of channel my characters are actual parts of me in a way, and so I channel them in different situations. Like when I have to present something or ask my bosses for shit that they should have given me anyway. That's Maggie, 100%. I'm an asshole. I'm very straight to the point. Interviewing people is Stone, and I like to get a little folksy with it. I have not yet slipped into my southern accent, so I gotta really watch it. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen at some point. But anyway, to get back into this, it is a couple nights from where we left off last time. The group has gone off with the information provided in the first episode and done some things with it on the down low, in the down times. Those of you who did not add a point, go ahead and add your point to the things that you did. And I think it's time for a rouse check from every single person here.
What a new experience, you know?
I know. Let's see if y'all are gonna be hungry. Mercy's not. Antonius is not.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, Braggy. Roland is
Great.
very good. 6 is good. Uh-oh, Braggy's starting off the night a rough way. Okay, Ygritte takes suit. Ygritte, your hunger is should be 2, not 3.
Okay.
As an aside. Go on.
Oh yes, and if we used willpower last time, we get to get that back.
Yeah, it's back. Correct.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, yes. So, vampires, you awaken. It is a new night. information has been gathered. All of your downtimes, uh, for the most part, have come to fruition. There are caveats and bits and pieces of certain ones that are yet to
And it's been
happen.
what, 2 days?
Couple of
you
nights.
said?
Yep. Relatively short amount of time.
Cool.
The first thing that we're going to get into is one of those things where I'm sure she doesn't want it to be, but she picked this book up and it's burning a hole in her pocket. So,
Is it?
for the last couple of nights, Egret, the book, the figure that comes to you in your dreams has been relatively quiet. There hasn't been a whole lot of interference with your nightly activities. You have not seen the creature, the figure, the specter, whatever you want to call it, in your dreams. Tonight, however, there is a slightly different presence. It's you can tell that it's the same thing, but it's kind of changed and adapted slightly. It seems to be kind of adapting to fit like a more familiar presence to you. Um, and as you find yourself in a dream, what would Ygritte be dreaming about? So new in her unlife, you think?
Probably just the club scene.
Hanging out at a club? Are you dancing?
Yeah.
Having a good time?
You know, uh, maybe not specifically Roland, but some kind of dream where she's got lots of clients that she's managing, and they're up on stage, and she's just enjoying, the they're there because of me feeling.
That's good. I like that. In your dream, the music loud pumping, you can feel it. A figure leans in to kind of talk to you, and whereas you would normally have to like cover your ear and kind of really listen, it almost quiets the room around it. You can still hear that like kind of that bassy sound in the background, like a muffled music, similar to when you're in Nova and the music is playing, but you're in one of the rooms and it's semi-soundproofed. You, this figure leans in and he goes, I have to hand it to you. You've done a fantastic job with all of those clients. I can't wait to see what your future holds.
When she looks, does she recognize it as this entity?
You get that familiar feeling. It kind of like once you like make eye contact with I gotta hold on one moment. I have to close. I can't have that on in the especially when shit like that pops up. Wow. Okay. It's just one of those nights. You lean in. You turn to meet the eyes of this thing that kind of catches your attention in the dream, and almost the moment that your eyes lock, that you kind of rest on its face, you get that snap feeling like, oh, I'm in a dream. This is a dream. You almost become lucid in that moment, and you realize that you're talking to the entity that has presented itself to you through this book.
All right, so I look at him and I've realized this is a dream. So, flattery now.
I mean,
Is that the angle?
no, not necessarily. I was merely feeding off the emotions that you were. I thought that it would help to inspire you a little bit. I mean it in honesty. we could do great things, amazing things. And not just this, and it gestures at the stage. I know that a lot of, well, many of my past clients, they're always a little trepidatious at first. There's always hesitancy. But many of them have come out on the other side far better than when they met me. I understand the reluctance. I understand the fear.
It's not fear. It's, I want to know what I'm dealing with, who I'm dealing with, and what the catch is. That's all. It's not fear. It's, I've been screwed over, and I refuse to let it happen again. See, and the thing is, with being a new vampire and honestly just the person you ended up with, I've, in this short time, seen some creepy shit. So the whole ooky spooky thing, I can give you power beyond your wildest dreams, it's not going to work with me. I'm not saying I'm not going to work with you, but I'm saying it's going to be on my timeline and on my terms. Hey.
I respect
And she
it.
reaches back to the bar and like grabs a drink.
I respect it. I do. 100%. I see where you're coming from. You're obviously in your life a very comfortable in your skin negotiator. You know what you want, you know how to go after it. And I understand that you've been burned before. I'm not here to do that. What do you want to know in particular? And I'll tell you what I can. But there are aspects of our relationship that are going to be a little more give than take at first, at the very least. I need certain assurances from you. I need to understand your commitment. And I need to ensure that you understand where we sit, you and I.
As far as I see it, I sit currently in my bed, and you sit stuck on a bookshelf.
Now, that is technically what you think. That's not necessarily what's true, though. I'm no more in your bookshelf than you are in your bed.
Like I said, I just want to make sure that I'm not signing away anything that I haven't even had the chance to explore yet. You know, you say you've taken a piece of Tony, and it's true. He looks much different now than the visage you showed. I don't know anyone else you've dealt with, but that's just so vague. I haven't decided what I want yet, but I have a feeling you do know what you want. I just have to decide if it's worth it.
Well, I can guarantee you it's worth it. But I understand that my word means very little right now. And these nights I am feeling a lot better than I used to feel when I was with Tony. And to be clear, I didn't take from Tony. Tony and I agreed. Tony gave. I got what he
No,
gave.
of course. Semantics,
Sure. Point being, let me help you out. Free. No strings. Nothing special. I just want for you to fully understand the ability that I can provide. The assistance that I can provide, especially with the things that are coming. The things that are already here. And more importantly, maybe for someone of your age, I can ensure that you make it. So that you get to enjoy that long on life that you so desire to explore. I don't intend to take it away. Trust me. That's the last thing I want. Your kind, always been my favorites. But let me help you out. And he'll reach towards you, but stop hesitantly, looking and going, if you allow it.
No strings attached.
First time's free.
That's what I used to tell my my customers. All right. What do you got in mind?
Let's call it luck. And he'll put his hand on your shoulder, and you'll wake up in the alley behind your house. But for the purposes of the mechanics, you have a +3 dice to any pool that you would like.
Mechanically, does that have to be used in this session, or is that...
Nope. That's just a free
Alright, cool.
3.
Cool.
The first
Write that
3's
down.
free, as I always say.
Do they have to all three be used at once?
No. That's a good question, and I would assume that it would get used all at once, but I guess I've never really put the requirement for it to all be used at once. But yes, make note of it, because I will
I
forget.
said I was in my bed, bastard had to show me something.
Yeah, no, you're not. Fun part about that too. You and Roland live in the same space, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Roland, you didn't notice this. You didn't notice Egret leaving. You didn't notice her outside. It is not until she comes in that you're like, hey, where the fuck were you?
No raise an eyebrow. Have fun.
Book had a little fun with me.
I'm sorry, book. What book?
I told you about the book. Yes, I did, in the meeting with Antonius, remember? Where I pulled it out and went, this book?
Oh, yeah, but you haven't told anything about it.
No, I did say that it spoke, like, I mentioned, because Tony told me
I don't
in
remember.
that meeting in front of you.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That's why I'm reminding you.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute. She's gonna go to her room, and she's going to go find the spot on the bookshelf where the book is.
Book's not there.
Book's not there? She's gonna curse and just be like, where the fuck did you go, you asshole?
It's under your pillow.
She pulls out the book and goes, I wonder if you could feel this, and just cracks the spine. She closes it back up and puts it
So-
under her pillow.
Actually, fun part about that. You go to try and open it to crack the spine, it does not open.
Tosses it across the room. And then goes and picks it up and puts it back on the bookshelf.
Fair.
Jackass. I hope he could feel that. And then she comes back out.
Okay.
So,
I don't know. It was talking to me in, and I'm telling this, Roland. It's talking to me in my dream, just like, and I made a crack about. Oh, I know where you are. I'm in my bed, and you're stuck on my bookshelf. I wake up in the fucking alley.
Hey. We could burn the book.
Not yet.
Or, hear me out. We donate it to a Republican book rally.
No, definitely not.
I hear they like burning books.
Anyway, you said last night that Mercy wanted to meet up. Are we doing that?
I have no idea. She hasn't messaged on me back about when and where.
as she looks and goes, perhaps.
Oh, you got back to me finally. My mistake.
Uh-huh.
With that, we then transition to the Giovanni Mansion. How are things going at the Giovanni Mansion this evening, Mr. Antonius?
I would assume that Elysium is still running as intended.
All is quiet.
All guests and people who are using it for a refuge point are going about their thing. Security's all good. Sent off the message to the prince. And I don't know if there would be anything else going on. He'd probably just be getting up and enjoying the fact that he's getting up without some random book fucking talking to him anymore.
That's fair.
Do a little initial sweep, check in with people, see what's going on. If
Um,
anything's going on.
As a note, you have not seen the Justicar anymore in the recent nights. I imagine that it would have been something that you were looking for, just to see if they were there, and they have not been.
Okay.
With regards to the information that you gleaned from a little research with Six,
Mm-hmm.
there is no additional issues at the cemetery at this time.
Good. At this.
However, and peculiar for this time of year, which I'm not going to canonize what time of year it is, just peculiar for this whatever time of year it is. The weather forecast in the next few weeks seems to be shifting dramatically from the norm. To a point where it catches your eye. Temperatures dropping to a degree that are unusual.
For Chicago? Shit.
Yeah,
Well, this time of year. I mean,
this time of year.
Whatever
Right.
time of year.
Presumably a
Unseasonably cold.
warmer, yes, presumably a warmer time of year in Chicago. It's looking to get cold. In fact, there might even be flurries in the forecast.
Christmas in July?
No one knows. Unusual to say the least, because you are looking out for unusual things.
Interesting. At this point, I don't know if there's actually anything I can do with that.
Sometimes
I
I
don't know
just
if
like
there's
to throw spanners in your works. That's fun too.
There's a lot of there's I got plenty of spanners at this point. But no. So the text just went through that. Oh wait, we might be having a meeting. So he'll kind of look at it and go, yeah, figured that would happen. Get the room ready. Check in with Six. Make sure everything's going like security wise. Everything is as it should be.
Fair. Now, do we intend to meet once more Giovanni Mansion, or is there any other place that you would like to meet?
Giovanni Mansion.
Giovanni Mansion.
What, you wanted me to get caught outside of Elysium? Are you kidding me?
See,
You guys
that-
are.
now you're thinking like vampire.
You just. I don't know. Maybe it'd be kind of fun.
I've been told Jessica is trying to find me. I'm literally sticking to Elysium's.
Let's flounce about in the creepy graveyard. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. No, I'm just.
Wait,
No.
didn't that end horribly for me? Oh no, it ended.
Yes,
That's
more than once.
More than one.
Yeah. Hey, the first time was great, right?
Um,
Only a few
for-
explosions.
For those of you going to the Giovanni Mansion, so not Antonius or Six, give me wits and awareness for no reason.
No, okay. No reason.
You can set the difficulty at 2, just cause, or whatever it is, default is fine. I'm not going to tell you the difficulty at which you're trying to hit, because it's more fun that way. Poor Braggy. Poor blind Braggy.
Can I willpower reroll?
You can,
One die.
yes, you
One.
can re-roll that Uno.
And
I just click on the willpower reroll. Is that right?
you can re-roll up. Oh, it's just
With just one dice.
I was looking at Ygritte's dice.
Yeah, Ygritte could re-roll 3. Braggy, you just get the 1, sadly.
We don't
So it's
even.
still
We're not even sure the
difficulty is two.
difficulty is 2.
Yeah,
Be nothing.
yeah. The difficulty could be 4, so you don't know the difficulty.
could be one. We don't know.
No.
Let him burn his willpower. It's more fun for me later.
It is. It's fun for me too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay blind and hope for the best here.
On
No,
your way
why?
there, no one notices anything out of the ordinary. It seems relatively calm throughout the city. Speaking of things,
Cold.
calm and slightly cold. Cold. There's a nip in the air.
Is Braggy avoiding Mercy at this point, or are we making our way there together because
That-
Mercy would take a car and would have invited you?
So, the special episode took place the night of last game. It's been a couple of nights. I was assuming that you two were going to stay separated for that time and not like make up and hug and kiss, but that's entirely up to you two. This might be the
It would
first
depend.
time that you're seeing each other since then.
Mercy would have offered to ride together because I think she's probably staying at Nova, assuming Braggy still is. I don't know what you've been doing in your downtime. And it would be her responsibility to make sure he gets there safely. So she would have offered. I don't know if we had any other communication or if Braggy will have accepted that. But out of, if nothing else, obligation as his sire in a moment of, uncertainty, she would make the opportunity.
Braggy would humbly accept the offer for a ride there and also pave way for a discussion. On
really-
the way there.
So have
in
a
the car?
let's have a
With
talk in the
Ryder?
car.
Two of you may be on your way to Giovanni Mansion. One of you may live.
In
One
the
of us
Uber?
may not.
Because Mercy doesn't drive, so we're taking an Uber, just for clarity.
Oh
Can
no.
Braggy drive?
Oh no.
Can
Bra-
Braggy drive?
Braggy could drive.
I'm just more just like, oh no, she doesn't drive either. Fuck, she is just like Maggie.
Canonically,
Yeah,
Maggie
Braggy-
has not driven since the First World War, so that's a thing.
God.
Braggy's going to offer to drive because this is
Why
a
does
conversation
that
that requires
make me
privacy.
anxious?
Maybe because every time we've taken one of Maggie's cars, it's gotten destroyed in some freak accident.
You know, that's probably right. Yeah, you know what? We could borrow a car from Maggie, most likely. I imagine. Do we have a
Sure.
car we can use?
Absolutely. There's a
You
black
car crash, you're
SUV.
gonna kill me.
There's a black SUV that is fully decked out with all of the vampire-y kindred things that you may or may not need, including but not limited to a change of clothes and
Blood bags.
yes,
The
but
mini fridge.
there is a small refrigerator with 3 blood bags. Lucky
Wow.
you.
Can I take one of those blood bags?
Yes. Yes, you can. I don't believe you have any penalties to feeding that would hamper the usefulness of a blood bag. So yes, you are down 1. And your
Sweet.
hunger is down 1 as well.
Sweet. So, hoo boy, alright. So, Braggy will... Also, can I inspect the car to make sure there's no fuckery afoot before we drive here?
This car is kept locked up in the parking garage that is attached to Nova that was recently added. You feel pretty confidently that if this car were gonna have some fuckery with it, it's probably the Prince's fuckery and not like Sabat fuckery. It seems like it's been pretty secured and securely
Okay.
kept.
Thank the prince. Alright. So,
Got
on the
that right.
way to the Giovanni mansion, Braggy is going to say to Mercy, so I kind of, prior to our conversation the other night, I kind of slightly may have fucked up. And then after our conversation, I may have tried to clean up the mess that I started, but somehow it blew up in my face and got worse, and I have no idea what I'm walking into here.
Oh no. This is how you.
Um,
I'm gonna mute myself.
I,
I'm gonna
Wow.
mute
Bef-
myself.
before you elaborate, I just want to point out that Braggy may have fucked up to the point where I had to reach out to another DM to to address the issue because it spanned games. So
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself so I don't interrupt.
Okay. What? Please, more words.
I need you to promise that I will at least live to be in the meeting, and anything after that, well, I accept my fate beyond that point. But seeing as I'm driving us, I at least need to make sure that I get you there safely.
Have you just asked if you could have a jury of your peers?
I don't know what I'm asking. I'm terrified. All right. Look, the deal is, so you know that Agent Stone guy, right? And how somehow he is aware of all our shit and who we are to some degree, right?
Sure.
So you know how there's all this chaos descending on the city, right?
Yes.
I may have tried to reach out to Stone in an attempt to prevent said war or whatever chaos, or at least get some assistance, maybe some weapons or something, seeing as clandestine agencies tend to have the best weapons against our enemies.
Mercy, I
And,
need a frenzy check.
Okay.
Oh no. This is
So
how I
that is
die.
a perceptive storyteller who is watching his players' faces. That's a roll.
Do I have a difficulty or?
You know what? He's coming clean. He seems to be trying to keep you in the loop and make amends for his past transgressions. So let's say it's only a difficulty of 2.
That's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
I mean,
Okay.
She's not. Let's be real about this. She's pissed, but she didn't not. You know, she didn't have a frenzy issue.
The oh shit bar of the SUV is got a little, like 4 little dents in it now from fingers, I would imagine.
I was thinking the door handle. You know, like the interior. I guess like where you put all your like crap in the little cup thing.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
probably more likely than that would be obvious.
that's fair.
He would see that. She's trying to be subtle. The ominous cracking of plastic, though, is not easily explained away.
So, and in realizing after our conversation that was a major screw up, I tried to clean it up, right? Tried to blow off a lie. But see, the weird thing is my message never got delivered in the first place when I sent the initial text.
You texted him?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
And I got a what the fuck back a few nights later, and then it occurred to me after our conversation that probably wasn't the brightest idea. So I texted back with a lie, like, hey, my phone was stolen at a bar, whatever. That didn't go through. So then I tried to call the number, but it didn't go through either. So then I tried to trace where the text actually went to, and then, well...
You can't unsend a dick pic.
Yeah. So then spiders kind of came out of my phone, and text's been really weird the past few nights, but it seems to have stopped, and yeah.
Spiders came out of your phone?
Yeah, no, spiders actively came out of my phone. It was weird. Like, I knew Demos was shady, but like, this is next level shit shady, even by government agency standards. Or whoever it is, I don't know. Canonically, Bragi has no idea. Whoever this guy is, shady as shit. And, yeah. I tried to clean the mess up, and again, it blew up in my face. And, suffice it to say...
Let me cut you off for a second here. I need to clarify. You put in writing on an unsecured phone line information about the Kindred affairs in the city of Chicago.
In the shitty of Chicago.
In the shitty, I told you. The map.
I love it.
Map,
No, it's
we're not together.
that's great.
It's a valid Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
In writing, Kindred affairs in our city to an agent who works for a human government agency that already knows too much, but you thought, gee whiz, let me just solidify the communication of me telling a human governmental agency with too much power about Kindred affairs. And then when that went poorly, as expected, I would imagine, although clearly not. When that went poorly, you decided to go, oops, sorry, I was drunk text, stolen phone, hee, sorry, that didn't work either. Wow, so surprising. And you thought, I'll just do what now?
Try and trace the number to make sure that, well, I could clean up the mess, and that
Trace
also...
the number like you did in my gallery when he first arrived, and he immediately was able to tell that you were doing something and asked you to stop and not ever do so again.
Well, when you put it that way, yes. That probably would explain the spiders. What's worse is there was this weird,
It's worse.
message. Yeah, no, there was a weird message that prefaced the spiders, and I can barely make it out. It said something of, please try that again. And then the spiders crawled out of my phone immediately after. I
Are you
don't know
still
if this is-
carrying this phone?
Oh no, I chucked it and
Destroyed it.
yeah.
Destroyed it, not just threw it away somewhere.
Yeah, I destroyed it. Why wouldn't I destroy it?
Why would you do any of this?
Frenzy
fear,
check,
lack
but
of
your
understanding.
difficulty's 3 now.
Oh no.
Also, check
have
to see
to put a
if he's lying.
I want you to know that I have a -2 to these.
Oh boy.
Also-
I'm doomed.
Also, see if you can read if he's lying.
Oh no.
So, you can burn a willpower to succeed.
Okay, I have a question, mechanically speaking, because I've
Yeah.
never had a fury frenzy before.
Uh-huh.
I know how theoretically a fear frenzy works, which is that you run from the thing. What does a fury frenzy look like mechanically
Well,
before I decide whether or not to end a
Exactly
will?
what you think it
yeah,
is.
it's pretty much what you think. It's not going to end well for the car and or Braggy, most likely.
And or the masquerade, which is the whole fucking point. No, I'll burn a willpower.
Okay.
She knows better. She's not going to cause a scene in the car. Once we get in the mansion, you're
You're
grass.
in an Elysium, and that's not allowed. And your
true. Oh.
etiquette would let you know that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right. I burned a willpower. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, that handhold, it's gone. She's holding it. She's holding it in her hand now. For reference, Maggie will be pissed. But let's be reasonable here. How she managed. It's how she managed to not rip you into pieces. She ripped the car into pieces. Maggie's familiar. She'll forgive me. Yeah, I'd like to make sure that he's telling me the truth about the phone, because he seems to be being pretty truthful, but
Fair. You do, since you retain, you burn your willpower to retain control. You are perfectly able to make a test of un moment, por favor. Insight and wits. With your with a +1, I'll give you a +1.
okay. Is this going to be contested, or do I have a difficulty?
Braggy's not trying to lie, I don't believe, so it wouldn't be contested.
So then, what would my difficulty be here?
2.
Okay. I'm not burning another willpower. It's fine.
That's fair.
That's not actually a bestial failure, though, right?
It is not.
No.
No.
Okay. Great, because I don't need that right now.
No. It seems like at least what he's telling you is true. You're a little iffy on, and this could just be part of your semi-paranoia / rage at this whole situation. But the only aspect of it that you're really not 100% sure that he's being truthful on is what happened to the phone. You want to make sure you're in your brain, your beast is screaming at you, make sure the phone is destroyed. That's what you're getting from this. You're feeling a lot of emotion all at once in a confined space, and you're trying to maintain a hold on that beast, and it is just hard for you to focus on this relatively mundane aspect of this conversation.
There. Okay, in that case, okay, I'm gonna believe you about the phone, but if it's not already in a billion pieces, tonight when we're done here, it better become into a million pieces. And I don't think I particularly want to know whether or not that was truthful right now. In fact, I think that you should just make sure that's the case regardless. And don't say anything to me about it after this, because it'll be done one way or the other, whether you've already have or you haven't, and that'll keep me from tearing this car into any further pieces. That said, fuck. That said, let's get where we're going, and that'll be what we start the conversation with the others with. And I will endeavor not to take any chunks out of the Giovanni mansion, because I don't know that Tony will be nearly as forgiving.
All right. Yeah. The rest of the ride is going to be filled with the musings of jazz music in the car
So you,
and awkward silence beyond that.
you turn the radio on in the car.
It's like a squeaky anger toy, but it's just like mangled plastic.
The smooth sounds of jazz begin to play throughout the car, and it is a harsh juxtaposition of the mood that was just being exhibited as the
Hey, this Frankie's heart doesn't beat anymore. He's not putting any effort to that, right?
no.
Okay.
Notably, though, as the music is playing, it gets a little distorted, a little staticky, and just kind of cuts out randomly at odd spots. For a car of this quality, it's unusual. Braggy, as you're driving along the road, you also notice like random warning lights popping on, like check engine goes on, off, stuff like that.
Oh no. Oh no, it continues.
Little bits of fuckery.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Technological fuckery has been happening for a few days, and
More
little
than the
things.
usual that happens around you?
The car's built-in GPS system as well begins speaking in Latin. You don't know why. It's very strange. And then it switches back relatively soon after that. But there's a couple of your turns that are coming up that is...
Yeah, more than usual. So, like this is not normal even by my standards. I don't remember turning the GPS to Latin, nor do I remember turning it.
The GPS has gone back to normal. Is that correct?
At this point, yes.
How far away are we from Giovanni Mansion?
It's only briefly. These little blips are only
Sure.
very infrequent and brief. At this point, you are probably pulling up to the mansion.
Park on the street.
I do.
Mercy gets out of the car. Fuck, man. She will,
Braggy, as you
Oh,
attempt to
God.
get out of the car to follow Mercy,
Oh,
the
no.
door locks and you are unable to
God
open it.
damn.
Okay.
And it's like every time you take your hand off, the lock goes up, so you can open it, and you're like, okay, good, and then it locks again. As you like, it's very slapsticky in a way, but also very annoying and freaky.
You know, at this point, I say I've learned my freaking lesson. I won't try it again. Please let me out of the car.
No, we hasn't. No, he hasn't.
You do get out of the car. You manage to get out of the car.
I've got to face my potential final death. Good. The last thing I need is, a car trapping me in something. I don't know. This is tough, man. This is bad. Okay.
Is there,
Bridges are bad. Okay.
if we park on the street outside, I don't know if there's any sort of like reasonable parking where we should be. We're, in my mind,
There's no such thing in Chicago, but go on.
fair. So we're parked on the street, basically, probably very close, because no sense is to be had. by one of the kindred in this car
Right.
that was previously in the car. Is there security that we can see from the Giovanni mansion from parking, let's say, in front of the house?
Do you guys have exterior security that like patrols?
That's actually a good
Because
question.
I don't know that
What do
we've
you
ever
think on
discussed that.
Yes.
You're muted. She said yes, but she's
Yeah,
Okay.
they totally would. They would definitely scout the perimeter.
Okay.
Is it somebody could Mercy get a hold of somebody? Could she like wave at somebody, get their attention?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So she's going to do so and say, "Hey, borrowed a car. Perfectly legal. Car's being sketchy. Weird tech things. Something about him probably, but could be the car. Do you want us to move it somewhere else? Can it stay here? I think I'm gonna have it picked up by a friend. What can we do to keep things normal out here?"
It's not on the property. We don't care.
Cool. Neat. Thanks very much.
They go back to patrolling.
Mercy points at Braggy as she points to the door,
Braggy just
and she
goes.
just gestures. Just go.
Yep,
she'll
Braggy
follow
just
behind.
goes.
Okay, great. We're at the mansion. Everything's fine.
You make your way inside the mansion, presumably to the room, if Antonius and/or Six waiting to guide you. Roll in an egret. After your interesting evening, the start of it, was there anything that you were doing prior to coming to the Giovanni mansion?
Not that I was planning on.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Then you guys also arrive relatively soon, and you will find yourself once more inside the Giovanni mansion meeting room, one of many.
So I assume you guys are in there first and we're last.
Yeah.
I assume, yeah.
We'll
Okay.
say that you two were the last to
Okay.
get there. Rolling in.
Fantastic. Roland opens the door. I'll see Egret to go in first. Shuts
Ygritte
the
comes
door.
in and like plops down on a chair and just
Well, seems like a fun night so far.
Looks like we're all together. Now we have to
Tony
wait
is
what?
pointedly looking between Mercy and Braggy.
Now we just have to wait 10 minutes for a dust guard to show up.
oh
I have,
fuck, I hope not.
More exciting things to wait for.
Oh,
There are things that we need to talk about, but primarily, we're in the meeting room. Doors closed.
yeah. I shut the door. I shut the door behind me.
Cluck clunk.
You remember our unwelcome visitor in the city not so long ago, Agent Stone? I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
Braggy thought it might be a good idea to let him know what was going on. Upcoming potential war in the city, things happening among the kindred. I don't know the exact wording. I'm sure Braggy can enlighten us. But he sent a text. It was received, and there have been some consequences that followed that have nothing to do with the kindred yet. What was
Tony
the
goes
specific
very
wording
still.
that you sent in this message, Braggy?
So you say that if you look at
Tony,
Roland,
I'm probably gonna
you
need a
look at
frenzy from
Roland?
you as well.
Roland just goes. You see that beast that you
Mhm.
don't generally see out of him? Just you did what?
Oh, pool modifiers.
I'm waiting.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Huh.
If Ygritte is seated between Roland and Groggy,
How
she
you're
moves.
welcome to do what I you You understand what letting go and riding the wave is like.
Mhm.
You're welcome to do that. It is your Elysium, and you do respect it, though. So I will
Uh-huh.
caveat the feelings that Tony
So
would be feeling.
I'm gonna split the middle, if it's
Fair.
okay. 'Cause people
Absolutely.
are talking.
Hmm.
He's gonna go really still. As before, he looks a little different these nights. Gray, pale. He's been wearing glasses over the different colored eyes. Goes very still when Mercy says that. Takes off his glasses. It's still kind of unnerving. The eyes of the beast are on constantly, and they're all just black. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, please, for
But he's looking at Braggy.
yeah. So is Roland. For
You're crumpling plastic, by the
a
way.
lot of, for your sake, please clarify.
Let's be very specific.
They are talking to Braggy specifically.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the exact words I used.
Come.
Did you use the phone we gave you?
Also, yeah.
Okay, I can pull that up. I'm going to go into the account and pull up his text messages.
So
you
while he starts putting on things, something happens.
Great.
As a note, I am marking off a thing of willpower.
Okay.
This is happening anyways. He's very, very still, and Tony stands up very quickly. The table that is between everybody is thrown across the room, and he is marching over to Braggy in about 2 steps. To be fair, is Braggy doing anything? Or anybody at that point? The table has been literally flipped.
Braggy's
Not yet,
accepted
no.
his fate.
As he stands up and flips the table, Roland will just put a hand on Tony and go, "Buy the book."
Yeah. By the book, No Violence in Elysium. And he pulls out his Desert Eagle and puts it on Braggy's nose.
I think you have to shoot me
What
first.
did
or
you
something.
No.
do?
Mercy, did you do anything?
Say words. What
She'll
did
shake her
you
head, but
do?
won't speak over him.
Well, that's quite the tale.
Matt, do you need me to do a technology roll to pull his text message?
No, you set this phone up. You know the back doors.
Okay.
You're good. You know because he said it. In the stream, you remember what he said.
Okay.
You
So
are
I will-
essentially aware now of all of the past instances.
I will relay exactly what he texted him. I will read it word for word.
Now, notably, I will say that what you don't have is the messages that he described to Mercy on the way here when the spiders came out and that sort of stuff.
Oh.
That doesn't
No.
show up. You don't have any of
That's
that.
fine. That's fine. I just need to know what he texted.
Do we need to go look up what the specifics are?
If I remember correctly, it was essentially something along the lines of there might be some horrible shit coming down to Chicago. There might be a war. I think war was actually a word that was used. And
Unfortunately, this
we
was written, this was spoken in a game.
Right.
we need all of the allies we can, or I'm looking for allies in the coming something relating to allies and trying to see where Stone stood. Essentially,
I don't think there was any specific terminology, right?
not any. He didn't use the word Justicars or anything like that. He didn't use any specifics. Just, hey, some shit's going down. Might be a war. We need allies. Something to
So-
that nature.
Sure.
So that I know, because I'm kind of in a frenzy situation here.
I believe he
Is
said something
Roland
about.
reading that out loud, like kind of word for word what it was,
Yes.
like he said he was going to? Okay.
Yes.
So basically what happens is,
I believe he mentioned, though, that something about higher ups.
Oh, that
I
does
don't
sound
Oh,
think
familiar.
I
no,
don't-
he did say
I don't think
something
he-
about there are some powerful people or old
Yeah.
people, something like
Yes,
that.
I believe he said something of that nature, though he did not use specific words of Justicar or anything of that nature.
Bragi would feel the piece of iron that is against his face like tremble a little. And then things shift. The gun is like removed from his face, and he kind of puts it on the end of the couch. He reaches down, grabs the front two legs of Bragi's chair, and pulls up so that he goes and he's on his back.
I was never sitting to begin with. I was standing.
You
the whole
weren't sitting?
time.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
cool. Let's
So if you're
redefine
going
this
to-
then.
Yeah,
Let's
if you're gonna lift me
redefine
up
this
off the
then.
ground.
He's basically going to let's fix that then, because we'll be fair. He puts the gun down, and this scary-looking older figure goes, "You know what this means, don't you?" And when he opens his mouth to talk, his hands go into his mouth and don't do anything to him, but he grabs where his canines are. Now, vampires can, like, their fangs come out when they're going to feed. Normally, they're just normal. He grabs his canines anyways. He gives a little pull, and he's staring him in the eyes. Would you like a history lesson? With their fingers in his mouth. He really can't say words. Does he nod or something?
Bragi will Bragi will just stare, shocked but not surprised at what's going on here, because he's kind of accepted his fate. He's more shocked at the grabbing of the canines than anything.
I want to point something out to you really quickly, because in a stressful moment as a newer vampire player, there are choices you can make here that are not necessarily good based on the setting, that may still make sense. You have a number of powers to your ability to get out of this situation that you could certainly use. This is your coterie. Theoretically, you might, in character, think that you have some additional leeway for a non-aggressive use of your power in Elysium, although I will remind you it is frowned upon. If not completely against the rules. I've just looked recently and forgotten again. But you have a lot of abilities that you could pull into play here. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but also Bragi doesn't have to just take this.
That's true.
You also might reflexively, in this sort of scenario, activate a discipline that
I
would...
don't think Tony's cool enough to warrant a fear frenzy. I don't think he's cool enough.
I don't think you're scary enough yet, although you are being pretty violent. You've put the gun down. In fairness, it feels less...
Yep.
Bragi doesn't even know what you're capable of without the gun.
That's fair.
Since you bring that up, I'm actually...
I'm not saying these are good ideas. I'm just saying that you do have this ability.
Cool.
Okay.
Bragi is going to activate Relentless Grasp and grab Tony's arms.
Oh,
nice.
Oh my god. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay. No. Okay. All right.
Tony,
It's
you feel the pressure of Bragi as he grabs your arms very solidly for the little spit fuck, and
Cool.
he locks himself to you even more firmly.
The moment he does that, Six has a gun against his skull.
Here's what we're gonna do. This could end bad real fast. And unless he resists, still the grips haven't changed. Everybody's still in their physical position. Tony is going to attempt to, by his teeth, sit him down in a chair. It's slow. It's not like violent jerky. He's going to attempt to do that. Would Braggy relent to that sort of thing? Because it's definitely mean, but
if he.
but
what
it's
was
slow
it?
and not that violent. That violent. Clearly
Um,
invasive.
Yeah, what would the check be to see if he can tell the difference between rage from Tony and reason right now?
Were you at that last fight
The last fight where you.
where we did all
Yeah,
the
where-
things and you were in the fight with the
Yeah.
the werewolf and everything.
Beast
So
man.
you have seen what this character can do
Yeah.
when he is not holding back. I believe you would understand that he's holding back.
Okay. Braggy would then relent to sitting in the chair.
Moves his
And
hands
he would-
from his mouth.
He would let go of the relentless grasp. And he would say,
So Tony would pull a chair over. The table's gone. It's somewhere. Pull the chair over, turn it around so that the back is facing him, and he'd sit with it, with the gun kind of like not pointed at him, but just holding. I'm gonna give you a real brief history lesson, kid. You're new. Everyone's first year is the worst ever. The biggest threat that we face isn't vampires. It's not werewolves. It's not ghosts and monsters and crazy shit. It's humans. For a while, elders played around with the idea of using humans as pawns. The whole reason that we had to come up with this masquerade in the first place, long time ago, is because a bunch of elders thought it would be a good idea to use humans to kill other vampires, use their thralls to kill other vampires. Those elders, like geniuses, thought that humans would use those skills against their enemies, but not against them. Lo and behold, the humans turned on them. This is medieval times. Vampires created the first vampire hunters. If this shit gets out, we're all dead. If you're talking to vampire hunters, I can think of no other cartoonish way that you could do anything worse to get yourself killed and potentially fuck your friends, everyone in the city. Information needs to be controlled. I'm going to be really, really stereotypical here, and feel free to laugh at me, and he'll look to the others, especially Roland, because he knows he's going to laugh. Very stereotypical. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
no.
There's one line in that movie you need to pay attention to. And there's one line in that movie that you need to sink into your head that will probably change your trajectory. Never tell anyone outside of the family what you're thinking. Ever. Your family? That's this room. That's your coterie. That's it. I realize you're still in your throes of being immortal or being post-mortal. You're a baby. We tell jokes about it. Aha, you're so young. You have to understand. You know all those traditions all the rules of Elysium and the traditions that you're supposed to memorize and stuff, those for the elders, those are important. There's an unspoken rule that you need to get through your head right now. The only rule that matters. Vampires lie. Because we have to. You know that muscle you have where you're reflexively honest? If you don't rip it out, someone's going to rip it out of your throat. Because we don't have a choice. It isn't a, we like this kind of situation. We are forced into it. And I hate that I feel like I'm talking down to you right now. But you gotta stop thinking like a human. And he's shaking a little, but he'll put his hands on Braggy's chest. But lightly. I'm going to ask you a serious question right now. Do you still consider yourself a person?
Braggy thinks for a moment and says, I don't know what I am right now.
Good answer. Because you're not a person anymore. I'm not a person anymore. None of us are people anymore. The way that the mortals talk about it. You're not a person. You're the monster that the heroes go hunt down to fight. That's who you are. And we have to hide from them. We don't get to ask them for help. We don't get to ask them for help. It's us. When they find out we are, what do you think happens? They freak out. You ever see some weird shit on the news about something you really couldn't explain that you thought was, it's probably, a vampire? It probably was. And one of us probably fucking covered it up. The instant it falls out of hand, the instant the humans find there's something else floating around to hate, that's the only thing that is going to unite them together. I'm not going to go into, you probably picked the worst group to call, but that's a different story for a different time. So, he backs up, he looks around, suddenly seems to realize he's been talking for a long time and everybody else has been kind of staring at him.
No, if you notice Roland is staring at Braggy.
Six still has the gun pressed against his temple.
As
Antonius.
he takes a breath and goes like this to Six, without saying words, requests the gun to be moved away.
She'll tuck it away.
I'm gonna put this in very simple terms, buddy. You should be dead for this.
Tony.
You might not be. He turned to look at Roland.
May I do my thing?
Player needs to understand what a player's talking about.
He's a deputy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's referring to.
Oh, to take him into custody and shit?
No. Let me. He's saying, allow me to do something before you. This is your Elysium. Allow me to do something before I have to do something.
So, he looks from Roland over to Braggy. You know how there's a rule about you're not supposed to use disciplines in Elysium? And he will take a step away, out of Roland's way, and points finger at Braggy.
Six is gonna interrupt this because she just got a message on her phone.
Mm.
She'll glance down at it, her phone. The prince is here.
Oh. Can you hold her off for a couple minutes, Antonius, so I may
How does
see?
one hold the Prince of Chicago?
We're gonna find out. He goes to
Conversational.
he like
Conversationally.
puts his hands on Braggy again. He like balls his hands and fists in his shirt. You are so fucking lucky, kid. And he'll like give him a little tap on the cheek, and he'll like let him go, and he will walk out of the room.
So before he leaves,
Mm.
he will hear Roland go, "Convince me right now before she comes in here, because she's gonna. Convince me right now to
I have a
look
question before
past."
things move. Oh, sorry.
As Tony leaves, he gives Six a look like, "Stay here," and then he will exit.
Does Tony want mercy?
If you give a look over to like, "You want to come?" He'll be like,
Yeah, Mercy doesn't want to be here anymore. She's been doing this for so long. She's gonna be just as much a problem as anybody else. So she'll go with you.
"Oh God, there's been a bunch of gifts while I've been talking."
Yeah, the other
Yeah,
has.
17 messages after the car scene.
The the two of you exit the room, and we are going to cut away briefly from the conversation of Roland interrogating Braggy. The two of you exit the
Man,
room.
that's the one I want.
You find
Okay.
yourself in the hallway as you kind of look for where the prince might be. You round a corner. She's just kind of casually walking through, looking around at the the home, taking it all in. And as the prince walks through, she says, "Tony, Mercy, so lovely to see you this evening. I had been meaning to drop by when I had a moment. It's changed
Well,
since I was here last. More lively. Well,
a smidge. Things have been moving. I suppose with my clan being more prominent in town than they were before, I felt they needed a place fucking talking to make time,
mhm.
but it's still legitimate. And like they needed a place to call their home.
Well, I'm glad that they found one. And I'm glad that Annabelle granted you true Elysium rights.
I'm very thankful. Did you get my message?
I did. Partially why I wanted to drop in when I had a moment. Ironically, I also wanted to stop by to talk to you, and her eyes turned from Tony to Mercy. And at some point, as I'm sure the rest of the coterie is here with the two of you being here, I have some news I would like to discuss. Some information and a small task that I need your assistance with.
Well, as it turns out, the rest of the group is here. They're preparing something right now. Would you like a refreshment before we go to see them? Hoping that this is enough fucking time for Roland to do whatever the fuck he's doing.
No.
Mercy will speak up. Oh. Mercy would try and speak up here and say,
Go for it.
I have an inkling of why you might want to speak to me. I'm not sure if that's something that you wanted to do privately.
Yes, actually, I would like to speak with you privately.
I have multiple rooms. I can arrange that if you'd like to do that first.
That would be lovely, Tony.
Please. And
You see Mercy, Mercy's been angry this whole time, and now she looks Chagrined. She looks slightly
Chagrined.
scared. Chagrined. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
That's a weird ass fucking word.
It is-
I've only read it. Chagrined. As this, she's like, oh yeah, hey, I know what this is about, and yeah, okay, fair enough. She's been caught.
The
The
nicest room he could, the presidential suite
Yes.
has the whatever you can find on all those fucking pictures I sent you.
Yep.
One that has a desk that isn't destroyed.
Yeah, it's a non-destroyed desk with an unused fireplace, but it's very intricate and pretty.
So what Tony will do, he will lead them in, prepare the thing to be locked, and say, when you're completed, Mercy knows the room where we will be waiting. And he will leave and allow them to shut the door. He will head back, exit himself from this scene, and be waiting for them when they are done. And I need a drink.
Maggie enters the room and finds the desk and goes and sits at it and kind of casually sits back in the desk and gestures for you to take a seat, Mercy.
She will sit close by. If she can finagle being on the same side of the desk, she will.
The same
Look at
side
all
of the
that
desk.
shitty artwork. Oh,
That's right.
it's gaudy as fuck.
The as Maggie's sitting there, she kind of like tilts her head to one side as she regards you, and she goes, "So you know why I'm here, dear?"
I imagine so. I reached out to Fee, and she said that I probably should expect to hear from you.
Yes. Can you tell me in your own words what you conveyed to Fee about your childer?
We had a discussion, Braggy and I, recently. It went poorly.
Is this why I had to order a new table for my room?
Yes. Funny enough, I didn't break any chairs or tables this time. But your grandchilder, true to form, perhaps, apples and trees, did in fact cause some damage to the room. In the course of this conversation, which is partially why I say it went poorly. Braggy expressed to me over the course of this that he is quite unhappy with his treatment as a new kindred, with his place in this unlife. And she'll give Maggie a look here of unfortunate familiarity, I guess is the best way. I should say it was very similar to a conversation we once had in the same room. He didn't ask for this. He does not understand this unlife, nor why he is now stuck inside of it. And he's not a fan of the night. I've done what I can. I've done, perhaps, I would say, my best to make him feel welcome and safe, and give him the understanding that he needs to navigate in our city, and within our coterie, and in Nova, and everything else. I've done what I can. I've done everything that I could think of, and he feels it's not enough, and that it has all been some elaborate ruse, perhaps because of the letter that he got, shaping his frame of reference. But he feels that what I've done, whether or not well-intentioned, and how he has been treated in these nights, is not something he is fond of. He didn't take kindly to my attempts to explain. And because of this conversation and the way that it went, and the resulting destruction and whatnot. I am concerned that perhaps because I don't know where to go from here, how to be a better sire to him than I have already been. He's threatened to leave. He threatened to leave the coterie, run and hide himself from the kindred. He suggested that perhaps he would just remove himself from the night entirely. Um, I don't know if he was threatening me or him own self in the room at the time, but it was not good. And I, as I said, have been doing my best. I've been trying to offer everything that I can. And if that has not been enough, I don't know what more I can offer him.
Maggie holds a hand
Especially-
up. The best that you can. Everything that you can. Repeatedly you've said these phrases. In the last few moments, you've touched on them many times. Mercy, when you came to me in the way that you did, as so many I've seen before, do you know why I took you in? Do you know why I chose to put myself out on the line for you and make myself responsible for the actions that you commit?
I don't.
Would you like to?
Sure.
The reason that I did it for you, your sister before you, and quite honestly, many others. The reason that I put myself out and take you all in is not because I enjoy taking care of younglings. It is not because I enjoy putting my reputation and my life on the line in every city that I've ever resided in to ensure that you all are welcomed in the night. The reason that I've taken in so many of our kind that are not my children, that I have not sired, is perspective. Every one of my blood look down on you, those of your clan, those of your coterie. They feel, I know this, because I feel it, though I choose to ignore it, that they are better than all of you. Ventrue have a compulsion to feel superior. So I have purposefully, because of my early life, maybe at this point, not so much my human existence, but because of my perspective, I have chosen to surround myself with unlike kindred. I've chosen to take you in, to help you, to assist you. And I feel that it has been a valuable lesson and one that has led me to the spot where I am now, on the precipice of making great change within our society. Now, you tell me that you have done everything that you can do when you have known him for a month, maybe two. I would argue that you have a long road ahead of you. Not an easy one. But should you embrace my method, truly, it will make you a stronger kindred, more apt to survive.
I hear you and what you're saying. And I don't think that I've spoken well so far because it's not that I don't wish to be in this position, that I don't appreciate the opportunity to see a different perspective. In fact, I've found it quite charming, this conversation that we had, given how familiar it felt, if not that I were on the other side. But I'm concerned that I'm in a place to make him stay. And the only way that I can make him do things is, I mean, I suppose blood bonding would work, but I don't think that is something that we look kindly on. I don't know that it's the appropriate choice to make, and I don't know how else to move forward, given that he's told me specifically that he is unhappy and that he has been considering leaving to run away to give up his on life. And I don't, where do I go from here then? It's,
Do you know that when I first took you in, Critias, your primogen, came to me and talked at length about your blood and how it will make you uncontrollable. It will make you erratic, and it would lead to chaos that I would be siring upon myself. Did I blood bond you?
no.
How and why did you listen to me? Why did you take my advice? Why did you hear what I had to say any differently than what you've told to young Braggy?
I suppose, if I think about it. Because you made every effort that I could see to make things easier for me.
Are you doing the same for Braggy?
I am. I certainly feel like I am. So, sorry, out of character for a moment here, except this moment where I'm actively working to let him have this quiet moment with everybody else. A quiet moment with everybody else. Oh, shit. Okay, Mercy looks a little guilty, but she says, I believe that I am.
Okay. You remember I'm the
This is great.
storyteller, right? Like I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
Now Maggie's not, so that's fine. But
Yeah, right.
Mercy, it's not easy. The existence that we unlive, the time that we spend on this earth will drag you down. There will be periods of time that you will feel like it is more than you can bear. We've had these conversations before. I don't believe that you're a stranger to the feeling or the ideas behind them. And like I have always told you, that if you can survive, if you can push through, you will come out on the top stronger than you did before. You will see the next night. It will get easier. It always gets easier. And that's coming from the prince of a city that is in constant turmoil. Someone who is attempting to take a seat at the highest level of Camarilla organizational structure, and who has currently 2 Justicars in a city that have yet to contact me, the prince. But even now, when I look at the challenges that I've overcome, the problem children that I've helped sire, I don't know that I would change any of the decisions that I've made. And I think, and I understand that it is difficult from your perspective, and that at times it may seem like I don't give you a lot of the information and I just kind of tell you what to do. Now, surprisingly, you do listen. Rare for your kind, but you tell me you've done everything you can. And if that's what you truly believe, then the only thing that I have to say to you is I think you need to give yourself more credit. I think that if you really try, you can make Braggy family in the same way that you are to me.
She'll simply nod here. More resolutely, where she's kind of been just following along here. She's like, okay, sure, I see what you mean. I don't think she has anything to add otherwise.
Excellent. Well, I need to speak with the coterie. And she will stand up and prepare to be let out. And we go back to the room where Braggy is being no longer having fingers in his mouth. Tony has re-entered at this point. Let's pick up there, or no, we'll pick up where Tony left, and Roland says, "Convince
Give
me."
a reason to not do my job.
Roland, you may need to explain to him what your job is.
My job is to protect the masquerade. My job is to enforce what is going on, those rules. So if someone say, I don't know, messages a human government agency, it is my responsibility to do something about that. If I tell somebody about what you did, you will die. There is nothing I can do about that. You made a huge mistake.
Real quickly,
I
just
need
Ygritte.
you.
Oh, sorry. Finish your sentence. I
I
thought you were
need
done.
you to convince me to put my neck on the line to not say anything. I'm giving you this opportunity. Now I'm done. Go.
Ygritte's gonna start just cleaning the room back up, so it doesn't look like Tony just, destroyed it.
Yep. Roll a d10 and see if that table's broken.
I should probably roll that. Hold it. I did it my.
While we're doing mechanical things, can Mercy send a text like, "Hey, we're on the way"?
Oh no!
Whole
Oh.
leg busted off.
That's
Snapped
fine.
clean. So that's going to be fun to prop up. Hopefully nobody leans on it.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna put that end as her corner.
Your turn, Braggy.
Braggy looks at Roland for a moment and says, interestingly enough, I can't say anything that I did was not out of a place of concern.
That is not relevant.
Oh, I know it's not relevant.
So you have a limited time here. Convince me. I am giving you more opportunity to do this than I should. Please convince me.
Think of all the questions that'll be raised if the existence of Agent Stone comes to light at all. His knowledge of our people, of
Which we
us.
did not give him.
It seems like he already had it.
Okay, but that is not relevant to any part of this.
Is it not?
None of this. No, Braggy, please. You contacted a human government agency. That is it. The extenuating circumstances are not relevant. I'm not trying to scare you about this, but all of these reasons are not relevant. Convince me not to tell you. To tell them. Say something.
Think about it like this. I get killed because of what I did.
Uh-huh.
Questions are going to be asked about who I contacted.
Nobody's going to ask questions.
Oh no.
No, Braggy, you're not.
Questions.
You're not getting it. It is not about the government agency. It is not about any other thing. The prince will kill you because you did this. Reasons are not relevant. Convince me to not tell her that you did this. Please.
What I'm trying to do. You're not listening to me.
You're not getting it.
No, you're not getting it. It's a problem.
You're not getting it. Convince me that you won't fucking do this again. Convince me that you have learned your lesson. Convince me that you will uphold the masquerade. I do not care why you did this. It is not relevant. The fact that you did this is what is relevant.
And I
Convince me.
I actually have learned my lesson. I won't do this.
Convince me.
Braggy will stand up from the chair and look at Roland in the eyes. And he says, I won't do this again. Do you know why I won't do this again? Because I have learned my damn lesson time and again. I keep screwing up and I'm tired of being a fucking screw up. You want the prince to kill me?
No!
You want to kill me?
No! That is why I'm giving you this opportunity.
I'm not going to do this again. I've learned my lesson. I know you're looking for more than that, but right now,
I am literally looking for you.
More than that.
I am literally wanting you to convince me.
I'm trying to. I am looking you dead in the eyes. Yes, I know I screwed up. And it is a huge problem, but I won't do it again.
How do I know? How do I know?
Obviously, you're tracking everything I do for one, which I can live with at this point. Which I had no idea before now.
No, I'm not tracking everything you did. If I was tracking everything you did, I would have known the moment you did it. I gave you a huge leash. We all did. Considering where you came from, considering who your sire was, we gave you a leash a mile long. We brought you in and gave you our trust. We did not have to do that. Then you go and do this. You don't tell us about it. You go and do this. You come to us. We are a coterie. We are a family. We are together. If you made a mistake, we can look past it. But then you went and doubled down.
I think from
You-
time purposes, at this point, the door would open.
The door is opening, and Tony steps back into the room. Notably, your soundproofing has been very good because you didn't hear anything walking up.
Excellent. And he'll like not interrupt, but he'll go like, "We might have 5 minutes." Shut the door.
Okay.
Again.
Cool. It's not the prince. Cool.
Yep.
Look, Braggy, I know I've been hard on you, and I've explained my reasons. I am not looking for your final death. I am actively looking to not have your final death on my hands. I legitimately just need you to convince me. Hey, okay, hold on. Perhaps I might be a little much. 6. Do you believe he will not make a mistake again of this magnitude? Do you believe him?
Maybe. But if he's given another chance, he's got to work pretty damn hard to make up for this fuck up.
Agreed. But I
I'll do
want you
whatever
to.
it takes to make up for this.
Fantastic. What do you think it will be? What do you think is whatever it takes to you? How do you not betray us? Roland will look at Tony side eye, like, do you know what I'm referring to? Kind of look.
Tony's like looks at Roland and looks across the room. A table leg. Doesn't say it out loud, but that's the look on his face. Looks back. He'll walk back over.
'Cause-
I don't know what that looks like,
Okay.
but I will do whatever it takes.
I want you to understand the gravity of this that we're doing. If we deal and do not tell the higher ups about this, our necks go on the block.
Tony will walk up next to him, put a hand on his shoulder. It's light this time. It's not like inciting. It's not like
Threatening.
yeah. I'm gonna give you a perspective you might not be aware of. You know how you came to be. You were a Sabbat plant full of bombs that was very innocent and injected into our society, right? And he'll lean down. I think you need to understand that there are still kindred around that think that you might still be a plant that is trying to undermine us from inside. Whether or not that's true, I'm pretty sure you're honest by nature. I'm pretty sure you're not. But if a old kindred that stopped looking at people like people a long time ago and is only sees people as chess pieces, right? If they looked at your actions, they would think that you're still a bomb. So I'm gonna give you a suggestion, kid. And he'll pat his shoulder and stop touching him. Don't convince us that you need to be trusted. Convince the rest of the city that you're not still a bomb. That you can be more than that. You're a fucking La Sombra. You're from a clan of leaders and shadow play. You can be more. And in the early years, being more, that's your job. You're in the figuring out how to be more phase right now. We get that. If this is your last big fuck up, then good. Everybody fucks up early. Everybody has the story of year one. Some dead person in an alley.
I was kind of suggesting a blood bond. Not a small one. I'm not suggesting anything more than
Just a wee blood bond.
You said you'd do anything. It's a shitty thing to ask, and he'll sit down across from Braggy. Does anything include giving up some autonomy? You can say no.
I
But
lost
that's the
my
question.
autonomy once when I was turned into this, and we discovered later that I was in fact blood bonded. And had we not broken it then, things would play out a lot differently, or would have at that point in time. I'll prove my worth in other ways. I can't lose the autonomy I had once without it being my decision to lose said autonomy.
Tony will look at him with those fucking eyes that you can just see your own reflection in. You don't see anything else. There's no person in there.
Mercy, you are standing outside the door. Are you trying to kill more time?
I think Mercy would have texted that she was when we left the room together. Mercy and Maggie. They just made a little text, but then at that point, I don't think so.
There's a he'll quickly look
But
at
we have to
Roland
knock, I
and
think.
go, "No, you can punch in the buttons. You know it."
Okay.
He would have let you know the code. He'll
Okay.
look at Roland as he hears the buttons being pushed and go, "Just one plain last chance. That's my vote." But the last one.
Jaeger will look at Roland. I mean, he's gone through the fuck ups, and this one's about as big as it could go.
with the Justicar in the city. I don't know if we have the ability to stand another one.
We act like he never told us this one, and then you do your job if it happens again. None of us know about this.
Door.
The door begins to, you hear the
Yep.
keypad beep from the inside. As the door swings open, that's where we're going to go to break real quick. So
Hey.
we will return in 5 to 10-ish minutes to pick back up here. So in the meantime, hang around. We hope to see you when we get back. Good. I'm glad you're ready because we have transitioned
We're
back.
We're
So we just took a quick little break. And to that end, and just as a quick little summary, little peek behind the curtain, because tensions in this game are high, I think that it's worth saying out loud that we are all friends, and in real life, we don't all hate Braggy.
That's true.
So, it is just, and I think this is really just a nice way of saying that I love you guys and how well you play your characters and how well you get into the game. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you really go in on it.
He's about to screw us, guys. He's about to fuck us hard.
Oh no, you're probably right.
What? Shut up! You don't have to like ruin my whole. I'm building you up. I'm gassing you up. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Man. Don't call me out on my shit.
You guys are great, and I love you. Anyway, Maggie walks into the room. The Prince of Chicago pops into
Oh, serious.
the room behind Mercy. And
It was very big and puffy as she walks. She's like trying to cover up his. She can block Maggie's view. She's technically bigger.
yeah, no, Maggie's petite.
Kind of short.
But as Maggie enters the room, very nondescript emotions on her face. She's not like, "Hi, everybody, how are you?" Very deadpan, very serious look. She does nod to everyone somewhat individually to acknowledge them before the door closes. And once the door closes, Maggie kind of looks around one more time and says, "Well, I hope I'm not interrupting too much, but I have a small bit of business that I need you all to do for me."
You're never interrupting, Prince.
It's a pleasure to see you, Miss Masters.
Ah, the flattery. Not that I don't love it, don't get me wrong. But you are all privy to the somewhat recent Lupin invasions to the city, correct?
Yes.
I think it's fair to say. Well, perhaps a spot of good news. There has been an agreement reached. The apparent chaos from the Sabbat did not only affect our numbers, and it seems to have at least forced a hand to a potential stalemate. Now, I have discussed some points with representatives of the Lupins, though I feel that my presence there is, at this point, becoming more unwelcome. So, I have elected to send an envoy. And lucky you.
Oh no.
And Maggie will kind of reach behind her under her jacket and pull out a small, like, leather document case and set it on the table. Ygritte, roll me a D10 as she pushes on the table a little bit. You want a success.
Let's hope. You said D10?
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh.
The table
Like wrapped around it if it helps at all. Like I am like trying to hold this bitch up.
the table like just slightly wobbles and she kind of
That was
notices
me.
it, but she says she doesn't seem to make a too big of a note of it. In that case there you will find the documents that the Lupines will be awaiting. They may have questions. I trust that you'll provide the correct answers, but essentially I have, at great personal expense, purchased many, many acres of land surrounding Chicago and have put it in a trust in the name of the one in charge. It is to stay in their family for at least 5 generations, at which time the contracts will be renegotiated with presumably myself and or someone who represents me. And they are also permitted a small section of Chicago that they can roam freely, where I will pull all kindred presence from. In return, they ensure me that they will maintain non-hostile borders, and that no more outside invasions will be sprung upon the city of Chicago. And should clans from the Lupins disagree, we will at least get a notification of such so that we can prepare ourselves, mostly to eliminate the casualties on both sides. Fortunately for us, Lupins aren't as long-lived, and their numbers are not as easily replenished, it would seem. So they're willing to bargain. Now, this is likely fraught with much danger, and there is a contingent of rogue Lupins that is definitely not okay with this. We are looking at a 51-49 situation here. I don't know how controlled that 49% is. But should negotiations break down, should this agreement not be delivered and you exit in good faith, you have my full authority to wreak whatever havoc you need to escape. And I assure you that I personally will be following up if that is the case.
Do you
Go ahead.
do you still have plenty of silver ammunition? Just say in case we need it. Of course.
That
On a
that
diplomatic.
might be a detriment to any negotiations, bringing silver to a negotiation.
Are we negotiating or are we sealing a deal?
You're sealing a deal. There should be little conflict, at least, hopefully.
But you are concerned about the danger that this 49%
I
may present, potentially.
I am not concerned. I am pragmatic.
Understood.
There is a contingent of werewolves that do not like us, that never will. The fact that we are even at a negotiating stage where a deal has been reached, I believe, and Tony, you may have insight on
Remarkable.
this, is unprecedented. Now, with that all being said, there have been casualties on both sides, to an extent that I feel that neither side is comfortable with, despite the ingrained hatred of us. Therefore, I believe it is in our best interest to act at this moment. So I did.
Where is it that we will be doing this meet?
There's a bar, a biker bar, I believe, called the Broken Hearts, near Cicero. If you have time this evening, I would prefer it that this was taken care of promptly, before they change their mind, and I have to go back to shoving my hand in dog mouths with grenades attached to it.
I'm glad that you'll never let that go.
Why would I? I watch it on repeat once a week. Nevertheless, all joking aside, I'm not unaware that this type of deal is unprecedented, especially for this area, especially with the history of the city before my time. Why it has changed, we can chalk it up to casualties, we can chalk it up to the times, we could chalk it up to the fact that under my reign there have been far less interactions between the two. Whatever the real reason is, the only thing that we can hope is that it's genuine. Because if we have one less front to fight on, well, I think that's good for everyone.
All right. I'll do it.
I'm impressed you managed, and I'm happy to help finish it up.
Yes.
He'll look over at Bragg
Unfortunately,
expectantly.
as much as I would like to do it myself, I've been advised not to.
It might not look good on you with certain visitors, I imagine.
This is partially why. Additionally, if there was an attack and the prince were involved, it could jeopardize the stability of the city. I also have things that I need to do to prepare. And those are becoming cumbersome. And unfortunately, I cannot delegate those tasks, just this one for now.
If it takes something off your shoulders, it's worth it.
Well, your compensation will also be worth it. Not that that was ever in question. Now, if you have no further questions, it's good to see you all getting along.
Sorry, Talk and I just made the same face at the same time.
I'm going to say that was fully in character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is very definitely
Absolute tell. Just drop the ball entirely.
Maggie either doesn't notice or doesn't let on that she notices, and says after that, have there been any more interactions with our guests in the city?
Not that I know of. I still have to fill the others on.
Yes, in fact, there's more to discuss, but nothing that I haven't told you already.
Wonderful. Well, I best be off then. Tony, lovely Elysium, I love what you've done with the place. Please let me know if there's anything more that I can do.
I assume you have one, but if you need a car, we'll provide you with one.
I prefer to walk, but thank you.
She'll get a little bit of a look at that, but he won't say anything.
Side note, while you're here, I'll take care of it and all, but I just thought you should know that there's been a little bit of damage to the car we borrowed this afternoon. Or this evening, rather.
You borrowed a car?
Yep, but we'll take care of it. It seems to have some electrical issues. I don't know, slumber driving.
Tony, can you do me a favor? Just a small personal favor. Can you try and impart to my children that if they do things that would be seen as annoying, they don't have to tell me right away. They can keep it to themselves.
That seems to be a running thing with your children.
Oh, I'm quite
Do you both
aware,
remember?
Roland.
Just opening their mouths and just out comes things that they probably should keep to themselves.
Both of you. You remember before the prince arrived, I mentioned a rule number 1? That.
Got it.
While I prefer honesty, sometimes it's better to lie. Now, again, I have a bit of a walk to get back to where I need to go. I trust that you will see it done.
We'll get right on it.
Of course.
Much appreciated. And Maggie will exit, closes the door behind her, 6, you get a notification that the prince has left the building, and
Nice.
Maybe you just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold.
Okay. If this is happening tonight, I suggest we get moving and get this over with quickly. I need to change out of this fucking pretend suit if I'm going to a biker bar.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
There is a small wardrobe around if you want to do anything with that. I suggest we get moving and discuss things on the way. Maybe a lupine primer is in order too. But we'll get to that. I will meet you in the main room in like 5 minutes.
If I could, Tony's pretty aware of what's going on. I can speak to you, Roland and Egret, and while he changes, if you're
Oh,
comfortable with what you're wearing.
uh, do you have something that it's not so
We probably have like a spare, sweats or something in
fancy?
the car. Yeah.
Roland, I have jeans and a t-shirt in the car. For you.
Fantastic.
Takes care of it.
And then I can wear my leather coat. Don't touch me. It should work.
You end up covered in blood a lot, so of course I have spare clothes.
I mean, it's fair. Trying to throw myself into it when I shouldn't. Either way, yeah. What is it that you need, Mercy?
So out of character, really quickly, Tony is kind of up to date on the Red Alistair, and so while this is relevant, the summary that we can give in the car is going to be much easier than the conversation necessarily. So
Okay.
Yeah, once that's taken care of, Mercy will say, so, Lucind, the Justicar of Clan Ventru, visited me in my gallery. She got in, passed all of my security, didn't seem to have harmed anybody or anything. She says she is here to officially, or rather that I am under official investigation. And that because of that, she will be looking to speak to the coterie at large. But I hope you forgive me for this, but I thought it might be relevant to mention to her that there was another Justicar in the city. I was hoping to learn something about why she was here, or if she knew why the other was here. That didn't happen, but that was why she's seeking you out to speak of the coterie perhaps first over the others.
Would you like to know why my
Sure.
Justicar's here?
You know why she's here?
Um,
Okay.
I have thought processes.
I have additional information that might limit what you desire to share with me. I was going to share this in the car where Tony would hear it firsthand. Is Sixty still in the room? By the way? Okay, great.
Oh yeah.
But and I'll preface this with Maggie is aware of what I'm doing, but in these recent nights, Braggy, myself, and Victoria have each received a letter from somebody called A, seeking to divide us from Magdalena, and questioning our ties and suggesting that loyalty to her in these nights might find us permanently dead. Unbeknownst to Braggy, there was a second letter that came, and I went to a meeting arranged in that letter and met with a representative of this A, who has asked me to work as a force for them against Magdalena. And I have agreed to do so. In that, I believe it will give me additional insight as we take on what's happening in the city. I've told Maggie, of course, she knows that I have agreed to do this. And my priority, obviously, is not truly helping them. But To some degree, there are, I suppose, there are many things that I can keep secret, but if something might be particularly relevant, if it's something that might be specifically asked, it is much harder to avoid such questions. And so I would perhaps at least be very clear about what would be detrimental to all of us as a whole if anybody were to know about it, as opposed to things that I might share as a trust exercise with these people.
So, do you not want to know my suspicions?
I
You
think your
don't have to lie.
suspicions would be fine. I don't know that they'll ask me such things, and I don't know them to be true, so easily enough I can say that I don't know them.
So personally, I believe that Portia is. Yeah, I believe you remember Portia.
Annabelle's friend.
Sure, sure. I actually don't believe that at all. Stryker is not fond of her, and that says a lot. I believe that Portia called the Justicar in to frame Maggie, or to get dirt on Maggie specifically. I believe Portia is working against Maggie and using Annabelle as a tool to do so. I think Annabelle is unwilling, or at least hesitant,
Sure.
because Stryker is said almost as much to me.
Interesting.
I mean, and it's pretty obvious from our interactions that Annabelle, I wouldn't say scared of Portia, but like,
No. I would use that word.
yeah, Portia's definitely in charge, and
Has anyone ever heard of this Portia before these
No,
recent events began?
I have not. Perhaps you can ask your mother what she knows about Portia next time you get an opportunity.
Chase her off with trivial things like a broken door handle?
Sure. I would use the word adjust her focus.
I think it would be appropriate if Tony made it back about now
Sure.
Sure.
and came back in. All right, kids, let's get in the car, bring the documents,
Mm.
and we can keep talking as we go. Hey Six, you're driving, right?
I will
Of
grab the
course.
documents and put them into my laptop case.
Oh, nice.
All right.
I'm gonna fall back slightly and Roland, since she told us that she told the other Justicar, should we tell her that Diana didn't know?
Oh, I forgot that she wasn't involved in that. Yeah, Mercy, the Toreador Justicar had no idea that the Ventrue was in town either. So that was a shock to her.
Yeah, actually, Mercy will look around to see just who's kind of nearby, but then quietly to just the coterie.
I assumed we hadn't left the room yet.
Okay.
I would say we haven't because this is sensitive.
Fair. Yes, the woman that I met with also seemed quite upset to discover such things. It's probably why she hasn't actually checked in with you all yet.
I think on
then-
a slightly positive note, though, I think the Toreador Justicar is not completely against Magdalena.
I got that too.
Quick eye contact with Tony. because he was on the phone call, right? So as before this little bit should just be like loosened to justify who they were speaking about, in
Mhm.
case that was not clear. Right. Well,
Car. Continue
Car,
this
yeah.
conversation, but as
in the
we
car.
move.
Let's
Get a
see.
big SUV.
Are we? We're not. Are we all
I was gonna
going in
say we
one?
might have to split up.
I'd recommend in one so we can keep this very conversation.
So we'll
And
need
we're all gonna
something
have
with
to
the
get-
third row.
Then we're gonna have to get real comfortable.
We're all best friends after this night, right?
I hope you've
Are
got a
There it is.
minivan
There's
with
the
third row
episode title: Braggy Ridefish. He's just stuck in the middle with people that don't make it right around him.
Actually,
Um,
conveniently, I think the SUV that Braggy and Mercy initially came in should have enough room for all of us, right?
Yeah, it's also fucked. We're not doing that. No, we're doing my cars.
No.
We're doing my cars.
You don't want to be in
I've only-
Spider Van?
Hmm.
It just told us it was having electrical problems. No.
All right.
Wanted.
Yeah, that's fair.
You all make your way in one vehicle. Who's riding in the trunk, essentially?
He just did it.
He just
Get
climbs
in.
in and pulls the hatch down.
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay.
we head that way, and I guess we keep talking. Okay.
You're in the car. You're on the way to the Broken Hearts
Oh
Oh
no.
no, we lost
Oh,
a
no.
Mercy.
We lost Missouri. It said internet blipped. Back
internet
soon.
blip. Uh-oh. Get ready for the inevitable.
Yep.
Disconnection.
The
Yep, sure.
warping of the
Yep.
overlay.
All the overlays are about to die. It's gonna. Oh.
Eh,
There
Yep,
we
oh,
go.
hey,
We're
there's
getting there.
Mercy, and then you get to
Sort
see
of.
the.
We're getting there. Everything. It's all on fire.
Oh.
Look, I'm Antonius now.
Did you feel the surge of power for a moment?
There we go.
I
The
felt
loss. Oh, the
I
loss of
felt very,
humanity.
very grumpy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fair.
That was a very quick recovery. I got to give you kudos for that.
that was a really good actually. Okay, so you all climb into a singular SUV. Braggy in the back, kind of.
I think we lost her again.
Oh my gosh, we might
No.
have. Oh no. This might. I don't want this to be the end of the episode. It's not a terrible spot, but.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
She
there
moved-
is.
she
Right,
moves.
Maybe.
It should be
No.
fine.
yeah.
Okay,
Should be
you're
fine.
You're good.
Fine.
Okay.
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 This might be a good place, though.
Third time's the
No,
charm.
no, in fairness, my partner kicked the internet button and turned it off.
Ah.
So it's not an
okay.
issue. It was just reconnecting.
It's fine.
Gotcha.
Kick him later than Reed.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat him up.
The
Murder's on the table.
the car,
It's been all night.
the SUV that you all pile into who's driving? Six, you're driving?
Yeah.
Driving down the street. A light rain begins to fall on the windshield. It's a little, damp conditions. You all are having a continued conversation.
Yeah. So, kindred stuff we still have, if anyone has any more. Also, how much of a lupine primer do people need?
I'm good.
I know nothing.
I was there when she shoved a grenade in his mouth.
That did happen once.
I've seen that video.
And then there, of course, was our darling Beastmaster, member of the Six.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have I don't know, do they have a political structure the way we do? It seems like clearly from this that they might.
Ish.
But
Okay. The limited information that I know. Kind of. If you think about lupines in the way you would think about werewolf movies that you've seen, not really. I do know information that a lot of other kindred don't bother with. So I'm going to give you the easy stuff first, right? They're born that way. They're not. The bite isn't a thing. They don't get, like, kindred can turn people. They cannot. Hence what Maggie was saying earlier. They have to be born. They have to mature. I know they have something like clans too, so there's other social groups in it, but it would probably be more beneficial for you to understand that they, the whole full moon thing, not a thing. They can do it whenever they want. They heal very quickly, and they are full-blown murder blenders that I am fully terrified of. Also, of note, they function a little less like we do, where we are monsters in the hiding amongst people. They have this really intricate and complicated, like, pagan worldview of, like, the cosmology of all of this. I've, like, read a little bit into it, and it's kind of over my head. The short version is whatever makes us kindred is the force that they're fighting against, and therefore we are extensions of that, hence general religious hatred toward us. Also, they can do weird fucking pagan magic shit. It doesn't make sense. It's weird. And every time I've ever seen them do it, it is infinitely terrifying. That's your primer. Be respectful. They are generally honorable kind of people. But who knows what we're going to run into tonight. They are meeting with their ancestral enemies to do this little meeting that the prince sent us on. And the part of the primer you didn't need, let's try not to make them mad. Everything goes bad when you get them mad.
Wits and awareness from everybody.
I already went and aware of your role. Thank you very much.
Oh, you fucker.
You said wits and awareness?
Yep.
Oh,
Always
no.
fail.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 3.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Do I have anything for this? Probably not.
I know. I also was like, can I swing some points here?
Roland and Antonius. Antonius, you're a little distracted.
I'm talking. Yep.
You're having a conversation. You're N6. Very good. Give me a drive dexterity check real quick.
Oh, God.
Great.
Difficulty 5.
Oh shit!
Wow.
For bookkeeping while that happens, hey, does Egret still wear the silver jewelry that Mercy gifted her early on in the game?
Yes.
Cool. Great. That makes 2 of us.
I don't know if I have that written down anywhere. Crap.
I remember specifically, though, that we had, like, a whole thing about it. And, oh, God, did you pick out, like, a claw bracelet thing? Fingertip?
No. Let me look
Claw?
back in my.
I don't suppose I could use celerity to kind of like.
Your rapid reflexes,
Yeah.
they're always on. So yeah, I will let
Okay.
you add. How many points of celerity do you have?
2.
I will let you add 2.
Okay.
This is like that thing in Edge Runners where he's driving too fast.
You said difficulty of 5?
Difficulty of 5.
5.
Fuck.
Sandevastan-esque shit is about to happen.
Great.
Okay,
Oh, is that a crit?
that's a crit.
That's why she drives, y'all.
God.
That's very good for Braggy, who doesn't have a seatbelt.
Oh, shit.
So, here's what happens.
There's the clip. Oh, fuck.
You are driving down the road. Moments before this event happens, you notice an odd lack of traffic. It's kind of the thing that piques your interest and kind of makes you all go, wait a minute, that seems odd. Roland, Tony, to a lesser extent, as you're conveying this information, and Six, notice 2 black SUVs pulling up, not next to you, at you, through an intersection. One of them clips your back, not flipping you over because of Six quick reflexes, but does hit the back wheel of your SUV, basically disabling it from driving. You kind of coast down to the side, onto the side of the road. You do not suffer any damage in the vehicle. No one takes any points of superficial damage or anything of that nature. And because of six quick reflexes, you are not caught unaware by this. You are able to remain coherent when you see piling out of the just a bunch of dots there for a minute. Ding, ding, ding. Piling out of the SUV, you see 8 heavily armored.
That ain't good for us. Oh, great.
Oh,
Fuck, I do.
Fully decked out in combat gear, very organized, very prepared for this. You see them hop out and begin to approach the car, and that's where we're going to cut off, and that's where we'll be back next week.
oh man.
Yeah, okay. Before, I'm gonna ask this. It might not work. Do I get to see? Do I see that logo?
Oh yeah, it's prominent, but it's different colored.
Different color.
It looks different than the logo that you're familiar with.
Like that one, like on the thing. That's it. Okay. He's gonna say hunters
It's
before the end.
the symbol looks like this. However, it is noticeably tinted red and has just a more prominence to it.
Neat. That's fun.
So, with that,
Oh,
y'all are in the middle of combat. You will not have the ability to do downtimes, but because of the quick reflexes of Six, Tony, and Roland, you are all allowed to pre-rouse some disciplines if there's things that you want to activate. You'll get 1 to prepare.
1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, cool.
So
It's got it.
feel free to do it now, or you can do it when we get back. That is entirely your call.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write it in the chat so I know what's going on. Because
Also,
I
works
will
fine.
forget by next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Hilarious.
oof.
So it's got. It literally can only be. Brass check. Fuck.
Hungry boy. Yeah, that's what I
So,
assumed.
Yeah.
Quick question here. If I rouse like a second level one, that includes the first level as well, or no?
It would just be whatever the power is that you're rousing. So it's not like a blanket effect where if you rouse the highest discipline, you get all of them all the way down. If the lowest power also requires a rouse check, that would be a separate rouse check.
Yeah. Like,
Usually,
if I want to bust out everything, I gotta roll like 6 things.
yeah. What are you looking to specifically activate? Because I can help you out with that.
I'm trying to decide between
Everything,
fleet-
Matt. Everything.
fleetness and rapid reflexes.
Rapid reflexes
Because
are
I'm
always
new
on.
to these powers.
That's true.
Oh,
rapid
rapid-
reflexes are always on, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry
And
about
then-
rousing those. So if you want to rouse fleetness, that would be your pre-combat rouse check that you're allowed.
Okay, a question you might not answer for me.
I love those from you, Mercy.
We're aware of this happening.
Yes.
Do they have heartbeats?
Oh yes, they're human.
Good.
I'll give you that.
Good.
Great. Hey, you know what? Frankly, it was the difference between Fleetness or Fist of Cain, depending on if they were not mortal. So, it was a big deal.
That's fair. That is fair.
I might
yeah,
have a secondary question for you, Matt.
Please do.
Oh no.
You will know instantly where I'm going with this. Do we happen to be on a bridge and/or anywhere near water?
Let me see. From where you're located is Cicero.
Because I don't actually know Chicago's layout, and I don't know where Cicero is.
Sewers?
It's
Cicero.
For water sources.
No, I know what I'm talking about. This is secret. This is secret weird shit that nobody knows. One person.
For the purposes of that, I don't think there's a large enough body of water.
Copy. Okay.
To be fair.
And I'm just rolling with it.
Okay, fleetness, toughness. Okay, and we've got these in the chat, so we will have them next time.
Yes.
I can't activate my shit yet.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I know you're gonna be looking at other things. But with that, thank you all for playing.
Braggy didn't die! That's probably not
The-
best
the-
Because
result.
of one roll, you almost
The
got
fact
yeeted out of the back of that
you
car.
almost got chucked out of the back of an SUV so hard, it would have not have been good for you. But the benefit of having the best driver amongst you behind the wheel, and the difficulty was increased due to the slick conditions and the tactical ability of these
Goddamn!
people.
Yeah.
She
So-
still won.
She's still. So, with that,
Oh. Do we still get our 2 XP?
of course you get your 2 XP.
I'm
That
putting it
gets
in 'cause
counted.
I'm gonna forget if I don't do it.
That is fair. Yes, everybody gets 2 XP. There will be no downtimes because we will be picking up right here when we get back. So, in that instance, I must say to you, good night, and I hope y'all had a good time.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
So, I guess we can say, I think, see you next week, right?
See you next
Yep.
week.
See you next week. I got no conflicts for like bajillion years.
Yay.
That I like
Bajillion
to hear.
years?
Are we gonna raid out?
Fantastic.
Yeah, do it. Do the raid. I am going to
There it is. There it is.
do this